Well, good afternoon to you guys. This is Justin Sandler coming to you live on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, May 4th, 2019, here in the Valley of Los Angeles. It's got to be a low 70s today, sunshine, spring is in the air. What can I say? Just happy to be here and happy to be alive. And that's kind of the topic of today's conversation. I haven't been doing a whole lot of updates, and I do have a few things. I figured I'd roll them all into one on this very special day, this anniversary day, this 4th of May. To all you out there, may the 4th be with you. This also happens to be the day that I received my cancer diagnosis just 2 years ago. Or can you believe it's been 2 years? I don't know which it is yet. It seems like a distant memory, yet just yesterday, and I can't quite figure it out yet. But it was May the 4th, 2017, when I was given the news that I did in fact have cancer. And wow, what a whirlwind of life it's been since then. And so many of you have been on the ride with me, following me, helping, supporting, and just being part of the gang this entire time. And can you believe 2 years has gone by so fast? But it's nice to be here and, of course, to be alive. And a lot of people ask, what's it like getting a diagnosis, being told from your doctor, you have cancer. And that is exactly what my doctor came out and told me 2 years ago today. Justin, you have cancer. The thing is that in my situation, at least, because I had so much going on and so many tests and blood and biopsies and everything else that they did, that by the time I went in on the day to get the diagnosis, I already knew it was a cancer. I just did. I could tell by the blood work and by everything else. I just didn't know what kind and what the treatment plan was going to be. But hearing that I had cancer wasn't some big surprise. The worst surprise was hearing that there was a mass inside of my chest stuck to all my organs. And the not knowing part, that was the hardest part. The testing for 2 weeks was very invasive and very raw and very hard to get through. That was the hard part. Getting the diagnosis almost was like, okay, now you know what you have and you can quantify that, and what's next. And so we went to work, as so many of you have seen and followed along. We did the chemo, we did the surgeries, we did the additional unplanned heart surgeries, and that left me in the beginning of 2018 with just kind of a broken mess. And I will say that for at least 6 months, if not more, of 2018, when I was technically cancer-free and done with the journey, I was still going to the doctors every couple months, PET scans, CT scans, echocardiograms, EKGs, blood work, seeing 4 different doctors, and that has continued on every 3 months, business as usual. But those first 6-7 months of last year, I was so beat down from all the treatments and everything I went through, and those heart things were just so gnarly that I couldn't do much of anything, and that was frustrating. And that's when a lot of old stuff and depression and all kinds of things creeped back in, and I had to really do a lot of work to pull myself out of that and get to a more place of peace and productivity, which I did more towards the end of the year, kind of finding my balance, my strength, my alignment, my purpose, my mission, if you will, which I already knew going in that I was, dedicated to this mission of helping other people in whatever way I can. But I was now given the opportunity to really take that to another level. I started speaking, I started writing, then I developed my show, and more on that later. And that really gave me more purpose, getting back to work and being able to help other people. A lot of cancer patients or friends and family members of patients have been reaching out to me and have been asking me to help, advise their friend or family member, and I've been doing that. I'm helping several people right now going through cancer in multiple countries, and if you or anybody you know and love is going through it, I open my doors, my email accounts, my phones, whatever it takes to help out in any way I can support, love, cheer you on, be a voice of someone who's been there and done that. Please feel free to reach out to me. As far as what is going on with me now, all my tests still keep showing that we have no more cancer, and so that's a great reason to celebrate. This last month got pretty challenging for me. I almost came on and did a Facebook Live, but I felt like I was in such a dark place for a few days that it would have just sounded like a big rant and bitch session, which is okay to have sometimes, but it wasn't where I wanted to quite be. I wanted to sort of get through it on my own and and come back to this place now where I can just tell you what's going on and what I'm processing. So going through the treatments I did, the heavy chemotherapy that I had to do to get this tumor off my heart and shrink it down, you know, it was pretty heavy stuff. 5 days a week, 24 hours a day, 3 different kinds of chemos and everything that went with it. It did a little bit of damage. Well, a lot of bit of damage. And certain things are still going on, and certain things that kind of went away for a little bit have resurfaced. What am I talking about? Neuropathy. My hands get really tingly and numb. My feet a little bit as well still. You know, I got a new drum kit and I'm playing again. I'm getting that back up to speed. But after a while of jamming out, man, my hands just, I gotta stop, I gotta rest, I gotta stretch. I mean, the neuropathy that's running through my fingers, it can get frustrating. I'll say that, because it's keeping me from doing everything I want to do. My hand falls asleep really easy these days, and that's just all side effects of the chemotherapy. Another thing that's been really challenging to say is that the ear ringing, which came and went from the chemo about, well, almost 5 weeks now, it came back in one day. And not only did it come back, it literally hit me with a high pitch, and I swear to you that it has not stopped 24 hours a day for about 5 weeks now. It's happening right now, just in my right ear. Seen my doctor. I've seen an ear, nose, and throat. I've had my hearing checked. My hearing was above average still, so that's good. My ears were clean. They can't really figure out much more. They're just calling it tinnitus. But, you know, tinnitus caused by havoc wreaked some from chemo. And, I mean, I am a drummer, so I can't blame all of it on the chemo. But I certainly think that this is what kicked it into space and into its place right now. And I don't know. I for a few days, like, I wasn't able to sleep. I just... You know, I get up in the middle of the night. If I do fall asleep, I have to go to the bathroom or whatever. The second I wake up to go to the bathroom, it's ringing. And then I go back to bed and it's just ringing. And white noise and whatever, it is not helping. But I've been learning to make peace with it. I did a great hypnotherapy session the other day, just learning how to accept it. I mean, your brain technically is making the sound. It's not really there. It's filling some space that's missing in the frequencies. So my thought came to me and said, well, if my brain is creating the sound, can't my brain also stop creating the sound? So that's what I'm working on now. I've come to a place of peace with the sound. It's there. I know it's there. It's not bothering me, but it's there. And so I'm working through embracing and loving, just like I did everything else, this, so that my brain can find a correction and let that pass. And I hope it does soon, because it does make it hard to sleep sometimes, and you're laying there and all of a sudden it's like, bing! It just doesn't stop. It just won't stop. The other couple things that were surprising, well, we got some tests done because I had an injury back in December. I didn't tell you guys. Hell, I didn't even really tell the person that was, I guess, responsible for it. And if you're watching, you might figure out it's you. But I didn't want to really go down that road because it wasn't your fault. But I saw an old buddy that had been years, had been sitting before cancer. It was December. He's considerably taller than me. Was excited to see me. I think he had a few drinks. Big old hug. That hug actually damaged and injured my entire cartilage of my ribs on both sides, especially here. I almost had to go to the hospital. I ended up having to go see my doctor 2 days later and having x-rays. The thing is, months later, the pain and discomfort, like if I cough or if I touch it, it actually still hurts here in the cartilage. And I know that cartilage heals a lot slower than bone, but still it's healing really slow. And so my oncologist decided to do a couple of tests. One of them was a vitamin D test, because that's one thing that chemo hits. And the other one is we did a full bone density scan, where I actually had to go in a machine and get scanned. The vitamin D test came up vastly, that's not the right word, much deficient. Let's just go with that. It was at like number 27 when it should be like 45 or something like that. So I was put on a 50,000 IU D2 prescription supplement, and then when that was done after a month, I was switched to just D3, which I'm taking with K2 and calcium and doing all the things I'm supposed to. But so that was going on, and then the bone scan actually came back and said, guess what? You now have osteoporosis. I'm a little young for osteoporosis, but I understand that it does happen, and so we have some options. The one we decided to do is actually going to be an annual IV infusion. Actually, I had my blood work done yesterday to check all my kidneys so that I can do not just my infusion, but my upcoming PET CTs, but I'm going to have it later this month. It'll be a half-hour IV infusion at the oncology office, and I'll have to do this once a year, and this is going to help strengthen the bone density, keep weightlifting, and taking the calcium D2, D3, K2 supplements. And, you know, we should watch those levels come up, hopefully get that osteoporosis at least to a manageable osteopenia, because I don't want to fall and crack like glass or something like that. The vitamin D we retested yesterday as well. Good news to report is that the vitamin D level is balanced at a level good place now, so good. All things there are wonderful. In the first week of June, I do have my next PET CT scans coming up, just to make sure everything's okay. But I did have my tumor markers tested via the blood again yesterday and even as yesterday, they're still showing no signs of cancer via the blood work, and they've been a pretty good signal for us up till now, so I'm not really concerned. It's just we're in the recovery game, and recovery doesn't go by as fast as you think it's going to or as fast as you want it to. And I also realize that even a hug can hurt me, so I just need to be a little more careful. Please don't stop hugging me, just don't bear hug me, because my body still is very much healing, and I'm not as whole and as strong as I wanted to be. But I am stronger than I thought I would be, knowing what was going on, because I've been working out really hard, training, getting my stamina up. A few months ago, I couldn't even run a flight of stairs without getting out of breath. I've been pushing myself at the gym with the blessings of my cardiologist, doing the stair climbers and the weight training, and I'm proud to say that I was able to do 45 minutes on a full stair climber. Being that 6 months ago a flight of stairs would have knocked me out of my butt, 45 minutes on the stair climber is a huge jump from that. I still get winded, I still only have a certain level I hit, but I'm seeing improvements, and the improvements are coming because I'm putting in the work. And that's just really the great lesson in all this, is that cancer was diagnosed 2 years ago. It took me about a year and a half to really get through all the treatments and past the initial heavy recovery. And now it's just really about, do I want to continue to be in this place, or do I want to just kick ass and work as hard as I can to strengthen myself and my endurance and everything about it, so that I can live as fully as possible? Because I'll tell you what, a few weeks ago when the ear was ringing and everything else was happening, you know, I was feeling a little shitty because I don't have the abilities that I used to have, and I don't know if and when I'll have all those back. The stamina to play a 2-hour headlining show on drums, or to get on the flag football field and run around like a lunatic like I was doing just right before my cancer diagnosis in the spring of 2017. I don't know what that's going to look like. So in the meantime, I just need to, you know, kind of stay focused, keep my eye on the prize, and make sure that I just keep working every day towards the goal of improving myself without worrying about where I'm getting to, and just being satisfied with where I am today. And that's really anybody in your life. I mean, whatever you're overcoming, wherever you are today is where you are today. The first thing is accepting that this is what I have and what I can do today. What can I do with this? And from there's where you start. I can do 20 minutes on the treadmill, then that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna push it another minute, maybe 2, if I can. You know, whatever it might be. If it's not physical, if it's mental, emotional, you still push yourself. You get away from whatever's distracting you from that, and you go to something that's going to help you. Here's another thing that's going to help you right now. If you happen to be watching this on May 4th, which is today, or within the next couple weeks, the Hay House Annual Summit just started today. And you can go to their website and sign up for free, and they have all kinds of great content, all these inspirational speakers and lessons and audio, video, all for free, all available starting today. Go check it out. And I was on the treadmill this morning, and I was watching a really incredible speaker, and it just, helped pass the time on the treadmill, and it also fueled my brain and just gave me that positivity. So no matter what's going on, even on the hardest of days, it's got to still be push yourself to do more physically, to more growth, to more emotional, more mental, more physical, more spiritual. That's really been my target. I had a couple weeks where things got a little dark. I came out of it. It's normal. That's the other part, is knowing that there are going to be some days that are a little shittier than others. It just happens. And I accepted those days with the good days, just to know that a couple days down on the down doesn't make you down. It just shows you that you're normal and human and having real emotions and experiencing, you know, the negative side of things, and it's just truth. But you know, you don't stay there. You experience it, you honor it, you purify it in your heart, you move on, and you keep going, and you keep pushing, and you keep growing. And that's all I can say from my experience. And by sharing my experience, hopefully anybody out there overcoming challenges of any kind can also learn that, number one, you got to keep going. Number two, there's no time limit. Number three, it might take a lot longer than you thought, and that's okay. And number four, sometimes you just got to sit back, take a deep breath, and just enjoy life, being alive, being here, being able to talk to you guys and all of you out there who have been so amazing throughout this. That's where I'm at. My mission has been to help others, like I mentioned before, and one way I've been doing it is through my one-man show, Embrace Love Free Cancer. I debuted it in March. There's some pictures and a review. You can go to the website, embracelovefree.com, and read up about that. I will say, I can't make an official announcement, but I will say there is some big news happening. I'm about to get hit by this rose bush. There is some big news that I'm going to be announcing in the next week or two about my show and about some future plans with it, but I'm not going to say it now. So stay tuned, because within a couple weeks, you're going to know what's up for that. And again, if anybody out there who knows someone or is someone going through any kind of struggles with cancer, I'm here for you. Please reach out to me. Let me help out in any way I can. Every day I wake up still chanting and doing my thing, and I send love and light to all my friends, especially all the cancer warriors in the world, that you all overcome, and while you're going through it, you make the best of every single day. You see the obstacle as a gift. You see it as an opportunity. That's just the best way to approach life. And as I always say, you got to embrace love and free. And that's just the way it is. That's my philosophy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been wonderful chatting with you on this wonderful May the 4th be with you 2-year anniversary of the old ticker and the old diagnosis of the germ cell tumor. But I'm alive, baby. Ain't nothing gonna stop me. I got way too much to do in this world. So I'll keep going, and I'll keep you updated. And every May 4th, we can get together for a little toast on the anniversary of the most challenging yet greatest gift I'd ever received. Thank you guys. Have a fantastic day. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Hope to see some of you at Veg Fest tomorrow. I love you, as per always. Until next time, peace out.